Okay, here we go. I think the only guy that we had that did not make it into the end was Hippolyte. He had a knee, so I told the guys in the locker room a minute ago. It really feels like I'm on repeat here. Just these guys are finding a way to fight until the end and win these games. And so, once again, not our prettiest game. We had a number of things go on, and drops on offense, and just we weren't playing consistent or efficient football on that side. And then defensively, we had a couple explosives. They doubled up on us at halftime there with the field goal before the half, and then the touchdown out at halftime. And it's easy to feel the momentum swing in their favor, and yet our guys didn't waver. They stayed consistent with it and fought until the end. Give their guys a lot of credit. That's a really good defensive front. I thought they came out and competed. And made it really challenging for us on offense. And I think this quarterback that they have is going to be a really good player for a long time as well. So, credit to our guys for fighting through there at the end and coming away with one. So, go ahead and open it up from there.
And the drops offensively, did you see consistent problems as far as causing that?
No, if it had been popping up in the course of practice or something like that, I'd be more concerned. But as of right now, I think it's an anomaly and something that we'll certainly talk about and address. But I don't think that's really who we are.
When you guys signed CJ, there's a lot of question marks and uncertainty about how that's going to go. And to have him come out and just be a total playmaker the first 2 weeks, what do you think that has done for you guys and for him in that locker room?
Well, I would say this. I gave him one of the game balls, and he kind of alluded to it. You get football taken away from you, which he felt like last couple months that's his story. And now he's here with a bunch of guys rooting for him, and he's grateful for the opportunity. And so it gives you just a greater sense of appreciation. And so he's always been a phenomenal football player. I think he's found a good home here in Chicago. Our guys are gravitating towards his swagger, his playmaking ability. I think he's quickly becoming one of us. So certainly not surprised by his performance. I've seen it for a long time now.
How would you describe the way that Caleb made plays with his feet in the fourth quarter, especially?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, he looks like a Houdini back there in the backfield because, like I said, that's a really good pass rushing front that they've given a lot of teams fits. I think Burns is leading the NFL in sacks, and so there are times where he's trying to escape and making some things happen. He had a couple throws down the field, but like you said, over 50 yards again rushing for the second week in a row. And I thought in the fourth quarter there we really needed that as a shot in the arm to end up winning that ball game. So credit to him.
And how do you weigh the strong finish, versus putting yourself in that position in the first place?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's. I feel like that's happened a few times for us now, and the good news about it is our guys are starting to. I shouldn't say starting to. They have this belief that we're going to find a way. In the fourth quarter, provided it's somewhat close, we're going to find a way to come out on top of this thing, and it's week in and week out. They're proving that. Now we'd like to take it to the next step as a football team to where we're up by a score or two in the fourth quarter early on, and we can shut the teams out that way. But that's hopefully next week. We'll take them as they come. But once again, we found a way to win, and that's the most important thing.
You talked about wanting to be at your best by December, and you said the last couple of games, this hasn't been your best performance, but to be 6-3 despite that, to have that much headway in the standings, what do you think that gives you as far as an opportunity as you're trying to fix things?
Yeah, well, I mean, I see improvement. I can tell you just offensively, this was we talk about playing clean football. I know we made a number of mistakes, and the drops certainly popped up, but 3 for 4 in the red zone. We only had 3 penalties as a team here this week. Those are 2 areas that have really plagued us. Our red zone defense was we held them 1 for 4, and so yeah, I do see us still getting better each and every week, even though it might not look that way when you're necessarily watching the game. There's growth. There's growth each and every week right now. So you're right. We got to continue to get better. We got some really good opponents coming up here, and we will be playing our best football in December.
When you see Ben, It seems in those moments of improvisation that Caleb seems to be at his strongest. How do you balance allowing him to have that room to improvise, but also staying within the system that you expect?
Yeah, and so that's the more time we spend together, we watch the tape and we go over every play in practice, every play in the game, and he and I are seeing it exactly the same. And so he knows when he should step up and try to just dump the ball down to a check down right away. I thought he did that a couple times here today, and then other times where the rush is on him pretty quick, and he's got to do something special. And so that's the unique thing about his skill set is he's got that ability. As a play caller, it certainly helps me out because I don't feel like I need to be perfect with these play calls. Like he's gonna make these things right, and so that's the balance, that's the trust that we have as a quarterback and a play caller.
And do you have a package of play calls for those kind of do or die drives? And do you also notice that Caleb's intensity levels up in those situations?
I don't notice anything different about him. I think he's been locked in probably. This week in particular was probably his best week of preparation, just as a whole, from start to finish. And so I feel like he was locked in from the moment I saw him this morning up until that last drive. And so I think he's doing a good job with all that. But yeah, I mean, there are certain plays that we have for certain situations, but more often than not, I'm thinking players instead of those particular plays. Who can we get this ball to that's going to come through for us?
Was there a more concerted effort to get Rome the ball today?
We always have a concerted effort to get Rome the ball, to get DJ the ball, to get Luther the ball, to get OZ. It's all these guys. They all have plays, and so yeah, each and every week, Colston, Cole, all these guys, they deserve a chance to have the ball in their hands.
You guys' defense will have bigger challenges than this coming ahead. How do you see the defense getting better?
Every week changes. I do think, CJ's presence, he's going to continue to get better within this scheme. Hopefully we'll get TJ back at some point up front. I think I got to take a look at how Book did today. But like I said, Sweat's really been coming on since the bye week. I can feel his presence out there. And then maybe we'll get some reinforcements in the back end at some point as well. So I think we're going to be just fine. Each week's its own story. I keep saying that. So just because we play well one week doesn't mean it carries over. Just because we play poorly one week doesn't mean that carries over either. So end of the day, we just need to continue to find ways to win.
Does CJ kind of bring that kind of emotional intensity that Kyler did, or do you have a number of guys in the defense that does that?
Shoot, I haven't been around Kyler a whole lot yet. He's been dinged up, and so I can't speak to that. But no, listen. I love what CJ brings to the table right now. You feel him out there. He's a football player. He loves to be competing, and he finds himself around the ball quite a bit. And so I think we all appreciate that.
What do you think of DJ playing through the injury, and how bad is that?
Unknown yet, but he's doing. He'll do everything he can. I think we got a bunch of selfless guys on offense right now that, like I said, they're going to do whatever they can to be out on the field for their buddies. So,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.